Hello and welcome everybody. This is DSV and we are just starting with our stream for Sovereign of the Seas 2 on 2 tournament. Now this is a unique one where we have a tier 7 tech tree, tech tree cruiser and a tier 8 DD facing off against each other. On the red corner, we have Takis playing the Julius Merca and Termitus in a York. That's a very nice uh, pick for this particular map. Uh, Facing off against them is General Grievous in his Tashkent, very powerful DD, and Grosser Bruder in the Zara. In the this epicenter map, what I imagine will happen is that both of these teams will try to take the center cap and try to eliminate the DD first. Let's see how it works out for either of these two teams. So, the admin team, led by these two LGR players, have made the first push and they have taken they are in the process of taking the innermost ring, and now I think Takis will motor on out and block Grievous from taking the outside ring, the center ring. Okay. So it's a nervy tactical battle at the minute. We haven't seen any salvos go out. Grievous has launched his torpedoes more in hope than by any measure of spotting or judgment. Um, so we're just seeing both of these teams position themselves first, which is the smart way to go before they make a push. Okay, here we go. Grievous spots Takis, starts hitting him, backed up by Grosser Bruder with his SCP rounds. And Takis in a spot of bother here. He's taken a hell of a beating very quickly. But Takis making use of his smoke. Let's see if Bruder can still find his mark, and yes, he does. One more salvo out to do it. Come on, big brother. There you go. Takis goes down, and Termitus left with all to do. He has to fight the Tashkent, and he has to then go out and fight Grosser Bruder in his Zara. Can he do it? I don't know what UKRF's plan seems to be at the moment. They are playing ultra defensive. Uh, Bruder reversing into, not reversing into, but leading into the innermost ring, takes the ring and blocks the income of points from for LGR. Let's see how long that sits with Termitus. I mean, he has everything to do at this point. UKRF can just sit back and wait for him to commit. They're in no real hurry. And let's check with Grievous, who's leading Termitus on a merry chase. There's no way the York can catch up to a Tashkent if the Tashkent doesn't want him to. So, a display of patience here by UKRF, who are clearly, you know, not afraid to sit out and let the enemy make mistakes rather than overcommit and, collapse. Not that they should. Zara has a huge HP advantage over the York and should be able to use his AP rounds to finish off the York shortly. Okay, Broder avoids those torpedoes. Come on, Broder, finish him off. There's your MVP. Well done. So, Yukarev make short work of LGR, and let's resume this in the next battle then. Alright. We are back with winners bracket round 2.2. It is FF7 versus prophylactic device sellers. So we have Blerend and Blaze facing off against Storm. Storm is a single person entry into this, and he has to face off in a 1v2 situation, Orkan and Zara versus an Orkan. This ought to be very, very quick. Let's go. Come on. Let's get this done. Quickly, please. Thank you. So, Blaze in the Zara and Blerend in the Orkan up against Storms in his Orkan. In Arena Center Control, I don't think Storm stands any chance of pulling off a victory. Especially since the Orkan doesn't have the Alpha Strike to delete his Zara in one blow. Still, Blaze is reversing. He wants to give Storm a sportsman's chance. Nice of him to do that, but does Storm have the skills to take on Blerend anyway? It appears that he doesn't want to. Storm, hiding like the little bitch that he is behind an island. Or maybe it's some amazing tactical maneuver that I am not aware of. Okay. Storm gets spotted. Blerend immediately starts gunning for him. Meanwhile, Blaze keeps on reversing. Is he looking for gold back there? Come on, Blerend, man. Lock in and finish him off. Torpin coming in from nicely done by Blerend. That was not really funny, but okay. I feel like Sales could have pull this off faster, but whatever gets the job done. So we move on to the next one. I will pause the video and resume as soon as we start with our next match. Alright, so welcome back to Winners Bracket round 3.2. This is for a slot into the Winners Bracket final. We have Leverkusen in a Fiji and Decreaser in an Orkan facing off against Grant or Palasite in a DD and backed up by Mex in a York. Right, so let's see how this one plays out. The York is a pretty good option. I know it's not a favored option in randoms, but in this sort of tourney play, with the limitations that we have in force, the York can come in its own. It has decent AP. It has a bunch of torpedoes, and it has the armor to go up against other tech cruisers. Also, it is equipped with sonar and it hunts DDs pretty well. Now, Decreaser skirting the center ring. He is careful not to go into it and announce his position. That's some beautiful tactical play there. And he's being backed up by Leverkusen, who is equally careful. And I think Parasite might be in for a rude shock very quickly. Yep, there go our first salvos, and Parasite loses about 30% of his HP right off the bat. Nice play by Yukarev, who clearly have a game plan, and their game plan involves bullying the DD out of contention before working over the cruiser. And so far it seems to be working for them. They've chased out Parasite. Only Mex in the ring contesting it against two ships, and those two ships have taken the two inner rings, so the points gap is increasing every second that passes. Very quickly, this team of Parasite and Mex have to play aggressive and quickly pull out a kill, otherwise they will lose on points even if they make a late charge. The second Pala gets spotted, both of these ships open up on him and they are deadly with their shooting. Down goes Pala, and now the York has everything to do, and I'm not sure he will be able to. The Kushman takes a torpedo, and Decreaser avoids one by the skin of his teeth. Max will go down, and this UKRF team progresses to the next round. Well played, boys. Very well played. Okay, so we will resume uh, when we get to the winners bracket final. All right, best of luck. All right, ladies and gents, we have a bonus match for us. There's winner bracket 3.1, D&D versus the condom sellers, and that is Grosser Bruder and Grievous versus Blerend and Blaze. So the winners of this match will progress to the winners bracket final and face off against Brain Dead Revolution or whatever their name is, the UKRF team. So we might see a winners bracket final, which will be a UKRF derby. That'll add some spice to this game, eh? Anyway, so let's see how this one will play out. Uh, Currently, we are looking for the right map. Okay, so let's skip out this discussion about the map and resume with the match start.
Que la bataille commence.
Right. So we have Bruder in his Zara and Grievous in the Tashkent facing off against Blerend in the Orkham, and Blaze also playing as Zara. Zara is a very popular choice because it's a great ship that SAP round hurts against DDs and even against light cruisers, and it has pretty good AP as well. Not to mention those long range torpedoes. So Grievous making a charge into the middle cap, and he will come face to face with Blerend, who's making a beeline for the center ring and will try to intercept and sandwich Grievous if at all possible. again, tactical battle coming out here. We saw the UKRF other team um, win a battle pretty much along these same lines earlier. Let's see if this UKRF team can also mirror that. Bruder playing defensive, he doesn't want to overcommit. And Grievous gets spotted. First salvos go out, he speed tanks it and runs away to fight another day. Now UKRF making a push for that center cap, or at least denying or trying to deny the Windy Sails combined team from holding that cap, but Blend is far too experienced to fall for that little gag. Again, this seems to be more of a tactical battle than an all-out slugging match. Both teams more interested in cap control than in actually going for a gunfight. Those salvos will hurt. Of course, you can under the cosh a bit here. They are 100 points behind because of superior cap control by the opposition, so they have to make things happen. And in warships, when you are under that little bit of pressure, it's easy to lose your head and overcommit and make mistakes. Bruder avoiding big chunky salvo, but he's still under pressure, under fire, doesn't know what ammo to use at the minute. Does he switch to AP? Does he go back to SAP? And Blaren making full use of that little bit of indecision to keep up the rate of fire. But now UKRF have control of the two caps. Bruder can disengage successfully using either his fuel smoke or just his speed to run away as best as he can. Meanwhile, Grievous can lay a trap and put some torpedoes in the water to possibly hit one or more of those ships. But now Grievous gets spotted. He takes a bit of a beating, and our combined team is once again holding two of the caps. So we're seeing the caps being swapped quite quickly over and over, and this match is too close to call. I generally think that Blaren needs to get himself in the center and just stick it out for the next 1 minute or so, and he needs to be backed up by Blaze. This is close, folks. This is very close. One mistake will be all it takes. UKRF looking good. They've managed to hang on against all odds and they have a points lead. They will win this. Extremely well done. So we are going to see a grand winners bracket final. That is the UKRF Derby, and certainly in the grand final there will be one UKRF team in it. Alrighty, so we'll be back with the grand final after a little bit of a break. Right, so welcome back to the winners bracket final. This is a UKRF Derby and it's on the most brain dead map possible, Golden Channel. So both teams unchanged in their ships. Grievous sticking with his Tashkent, and Zara being played by Grosser Decreaser in the Orkan, and Lepkushaman in the Fiji, facing off against each other. Grievous having some technical issues, I think. Launches torpedoes. Zara gets spotted and immediately being put under pressure by Lepkushaman, and the Orkan sneaking up. He is going to launch some torpedoes at some point. Those torpedoes look good, but they run out of steam. Decreaser really playing aggressively. He's managing to survive up against a very, very dangerous cruiser who he's lucky is not interested in him at the minute. Bruder getting pushed out, and the Tashkent making his way back into the cap. I don't know if the Tashkent can do much against the combined strength of a Fiji that can charge him and the Orkan. That looks to be the plan from Lepkushaman to flank the Tashkent, cut off his retreat. That way he's going to be forced to engage, and at that point Decreaser can use his HP advantage and just gun down the Tashkent. The Orkan takes down Tashkent and wonderfully just avoids those torpedoes, takes a full broadside salvo, but he has enough HP to survive that, sit in his smoke, and possibly disengage if he feels the need to. Bruder wastes salvo, and I think this match is all but over. So Decreaser pulls off 2 kills and takes his team to the grand final. Let's see if we see another derby game in the grand final. We potentially might. Alright, welcome back, ladies and gents, to the grand final. We have Braindead versus Blaze and Blend, two teams that have pretty much dominated the proceedings this evening and deservedly taken their place in the grand final. So we have a 3-cap map this time. UKRF favoring B and C, and the red team going for Alpha and Bravo. Bravo looks to be a dangerous position to be in, especially for that DD. That is why I think Decreaser is being extra careful. He does not want to go up against a cruiser. Now, Blaze popping his smoke and instantly giving away his position, that might not be the smartest idea. And those torpedoes, though, they might cause... Ooh, that was close. Now Blaren coming in to back up Blaze, and Leverkusenman having to play a very aggressive role to help out his teammate Decreaser from a spot of bother. Meanwhile, Lebby hitting Blaze with everything he has, trying to torp him as well. Blaze does well to avoid the torpedoes, but it looks like Blaren might take them. Oh my! Blaren takes a couple of them and he's hurt. Both of these players are hurt. And can UKRF capitalize on this huge lapse in judgment by Blaren? Blaze will go down. A double fire is going to burn down anyway, and Blaren left with a mountain to climb. Didn't work out too well for him in the end. I don't know. I mean, I think rather than UKRF winning this match, I think this Blaren and Blaze combination lost this match. They were impatient, uncharacteristically so, and they prioritized the wrong target at the wrong time. Still, let's see if they can mount a comeback. Sorry, this wasn't yeah, this is done. Now we have time for one more match. It's a 1v1 against the champions. Decreaser will face off against Leverkusenman in a 1v1 match. Let's see how that one plays out. Okay, let's pause this while we wait for our match to start. Okay, folks, this one is going to be between the two champions, Orkan versus Cossack in Arena. Let's see how this one plays out.
Battle starts.
Decreaser is clearly the specialist DD player, and he's picked an Orkan. He's facing up to a very accomplished all-round player, Leverkusenman, in the Cossack. The Cossack is a pest of a ship. I hate facing it. It has so many smokes, it has those piddly little guns, and it has torpedoes as well. The Orkan does have the benefit of radar, which neutralizes that smoke quite a bit, and I think Decreaser knows the strengths and weaknesses of a Cossack as well as anyone. Levy living dangerously, but for how long? That is the question. Of course, he can afford to camp out and smoke, and yes, he's won it. Against all odds, the boy has done it. Congratulations, Leverkusenman, for winning the 2v2 as well as the 1v1. And well played to Decreaser as well. In fact, well played to everybody. Thank you for watching, everyone. Have a nice summer break, and we'll see you in the last week of August. Goodbye.